Okay, so let's look at qEEG and ERPs, two vital tools for understanding the human brain. We use both of them. They both have a different purpose, right? They are related, but they both have a different purpose. qEEG, quantitative electroencephalography, that's what we use to measure brain waves at different locations in the brain over time. That helps us to provide an overall picture of how information is being processed in the brain by mapping the different electrical activity from the different regions of the brain. On the other hand, ERP stands for event-related potentials, and that measures the electrical activity of the brain over time in the form of the electrical activity of the neurons responding to specific events. So this method, it allows us to really observe how you respond both emotionally and cognitively to different stimuli, which gives us insight into how your brains interpret those events. So for example, if we want to look at what motivates you, we might do a task that involves reward. And when we talk about reward, it really comes down to four categories: safety, opportunity, autonomies, or rewards. So let's say we talk about reward. We will use some stimuli, which will then measure that ERP, that event-related potential, to see the brain activity and how you respond to that stimuli. So this is why we timestamp all of our brain scans, why we look at what's going on the screen, and we make sure that we know what you're looking at and what you're being stimulated by while we're measuring that brain activity in that time. So we use these. It lets us know how our brains interpret and interact with different stimuli across multiple levels of cognition. So if you're ever wondering why some of the things that we do are run to timers, and we're like, no, it has to be like that. That's right. It's because of these ERPs. So we know what's going on and we know what's happening in you and what's stimulating you when we're getting this response from your brain. ERPs.